Salutations, Nyaja. So I have another video. This video, again, we're exploring poetry by the author Shel Silverstein. Shel Silverstein. Okay, so Shel Silverstein is important because he wrote another book called The Giving Tree. But more importantly, what I wanted you to be able to identify with is his ability to use imaginative concepts, to use language to depict imaginative concepts that otherwise we may not think about in that way. And most poets have the ability, most good poets have the ability to do that. It's called creative license. Okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to read a couple more poems from Where the Sidewalk Ends. Okay? Where the Sidewalk Ends. All right? So let's kind of take a look. All right, you read Ickle Me, Pickle Me. All right. This one is I Must Remember. I must remember turkey on Thanksgiving, pudding on Christmas, eggs on Easter, chicken on Sunday, fish on Friday, leftovers Monday. But me, I'm such a dunce. I went and ate them all at once. So now, remember, this particular poem, this particular collection of poetry, Where the Sidewalk Ends, it's all about activating your imagination, right? Because the sidewalk, most days, we're not walking down the street thinking we're going to fall into a sinkhole, or the sidewalk is going to cut off and fall into a sinkhole. If that were to spontaneously happen, there would be complete chaos. So it's like when there's no more order, when there's chaos, how do you make sense of it? All right. So a lot of these poems are about making sense of chaotic ideas. All right. So now, here, this particular poem, I must remember. I must remember turkey on Thanksgiving, pudding on Christmas, eggs on Easter, chicken on Sunday, fish on Friday, leftovers Monday. But me, I'm such a dunce. I went and ate them all at once. So, what's the idea? Well, the biggest idea that he's talking about is, you know, the nonsense of gluttony, you know, but sometimes you enjoy it. But even too much of a good thing is not good for you, right? So, turkey on Thanksgiving, pudding on Christmas, eggs on Easter, chicken on Sunday, fish on Friday, leftovers Monday. But I went and ate them all at once. So can you imagine eating a turkey, pudding, eggs, chicken, fish? Well, actually, sometimes I do pack a plate for you like that. I do make a plate and I'm like, here's a piece of fish, here's a piece of chicken, here's some turkey. But the idea is that in order, we learn moderation. Like, oh man, I'd love to have 10 pieces of bacon. But in moderation, I'll have 2. Okay? And so it's the idea that you have the ability to regulate yourself. Okay? You have the ability to regulate yourself. All right? And so it's important when you're acting in your divine self, that's something that you would do. Okay? So we're going to read another poem. And this one has figurative language. It has quite a few what? Automatopoeias. And so that's when we assign to a sound a particular word. Okay? So let's look. It's talking about the 4th. What do you think? Which holiday happens on the 4th? It's not in January. It's not in February. It's not in March. It's not in April. It's not in May. It's not in June. But it's in July. You're right. So on July 4th of every year, we have what's called Independence Day. So that's what this one is about. So let's see. Oh, crash, my bash, it's bang, the zang, 4th, whoosh, a baroon, July, whoo. Let's try it again. Oh, crash, my bash, it's bang, the zang, 4th, whoosh, of baroon, July, whew. So on 4th of July, what do we see? You remember because we went and got what? Chipotle. And then we sat and watched what? Fireworks, right? So it's kind of chaotic in the sense that it's mimicking a battlefield. So if you hear in the Star Spangled Banner and say, "Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, saved us that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave." So what it's talking about is on the battlefield, as they're fighting, they're going to war, and this is at this point when the United States was fighting against war against England, because England was the colonizer, the initial colonizer of the United States, and so, or Europe. They were from Europe because Ireland sent settlers, and there were many European settlers. Okay, so the idea is that the um, the United States and the American Revolution, they began to fight back against England and said they wanted to take the land and they wanted to be able to govern. We wanted to be able to govern ourselves. So the war, it was like, oh my gosh, you see rockets, you see fire, gunfire, all that kind of stuff. So when you look at this particular poem, it doesn't it doesn't specifically articulate a chaotic idea, right? But the use of onomatopoeias kind of tell you like it's a lot going on. It's like bang, it's all over the place. And so onomatopoeias are figurative language that add emphasis because it creates for you a literary sound, okay, that you actually have to speak. So it's kind of, as a holiday, the Fourth of July really acknowledges what happened on the battlefield. So if you think of war, it's kind of crazy. People running all the place with guns, shooting, and rockets throwing up in the air. So that's a place where there is a lack of order and maybe even a lack of civility, because in that time it's about fighting for survival and fighting for the survival of whatever idea you find to be most pertinent. So let's see. I'm going to read it one more time. Okay. The fourth. Oh, crash, my bash, it's bang, the zag, fourth, whoosh, a broom, July. Whew. Okay, so I know it seemed kind of weird. It wasn't a whole lot of words, just really a lot of onomatopoeias, but that's kind of what it would be like if you were on a battlefield. And 4th of July is about acknowledging that. Okay, so we're going to say our prayers. Okay, um, are you ready? Okay. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Okay? I know you're going to have sweet dreams. I know you are. I love you so much, and I can't wait to speak to you, okay? Have a truly, truly, truly blessed day. I love you.